What's up, everybody? Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. This is MLG TV. We're coming off of a Thursday night thriller, a snowstorm versus the Browns. Steelers. What's up, Jack, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, man, what a game, right? Nick Chubb, Jameis Winston, the Browns, and Russell Wilson just not getting it done, huh?
Yeah, I think pretty much if you watched the show yesterday, everything we pretty much said, it happened tonight. You called the Nick Chubb for a touchdown. He actually got two tonight, I believe. Snowstorm. It looked like it started out slow. Told you guys I like the over. Looked like it was going to be an under game, but it still pulled through, becoming a thriller at the end and went over the total here. And as we said, this looked like a trap line, and Browns covered, like we said. So 3-0 on the show here.
Covered at one. Again, home team has the advantage. Like Thursday Night Football, short week again. Like we were saying off the show, Thursday Night Football is a blessing for the Sharps, man. Like for anybody that's up on game, that really understands football and how this game is played in between the trenches, coaching staff through the week, preparation. Thursday's on short week, the teams are not ready sometimes. And the elements come into play like that, anybody could win, right? And 3.5.
Easy
cover. And a win if you had the ball to take the money line, right?
Yeah, nice little win. Especially people who threw them in teasers too as well. Like you were not sweating this whole time because, like you said, the elements came into play. And I mentioned it yesterday. I said it could be a blizzard, possibly. And it started out, it was raining, but it turned into snow because it was so cold. So you see a low total like this, you see a weird, tricky line, you always got to lean towards the underdog, especially if they're at home in these type of matchups. Pittsburgh was coming off 5 or 6 straight wins and covers. They were riding high. Browns been losing. This was a perfect spot to take the Browns. Like you said, Sharp is making money on Thursdays. Travel, you got the travel into effect. Can't really practice. Can't prepare for the next matchup. So like you're saying, the home team has a big advantage, and we're going to keep taking advantage of these Thursday night prime time slots and make this money. Your boy Chubb.
What's next week's matchup? Do we
know? That's a good question.
Oh yeah, it's 3 games on Thanksgiving, of course.
Oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving. Right.
Yeah. We'll worry about that next week though. Nick Chubb, over on the prop, called it. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet. It was about time. And why not on a Thursday night on a short week when the defense can't be as prepped for him? It made sense. Now, 2 touchdowns, that's even better. He's just starting to get it going. I think he had over 20 carries, which is crazy for him coming off that injury. He didn't have a big yardage total, but you can't expect that from him yet. He's still getting his legs under him. And he's a good running back. People were doubting him, and I don't know why you could doubt somebody just because it's his second devastating injury when he came back from the first. A player like that's a fighter, and in a game like this, it's perfect to, that's logic to take his prop, in my opinion, right?
Right.
And it's just an opinion. You don't have to listen to it.
Definitely. And remember I said, I know I'm looking ahead a little bit for the weekend, but Ashton Genchi, they might be in a snowstorm. Remember I said
You did say that.
So it might be the same type of game. Wyoming versus Boise State coming up this week. Boise's laying a lot of points, so I wouldn't take Boise minus the points, but Boise will win that game just because of the running back alone. Like you said, in these type of games, you need the run game to get going. Najee Harris, how did he do the first half? Because I didn't see much of the first half.
I didn't see much of it. Really, Jalen Warren is who was getting it going this game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have that switch up back. I like Jalen Warren better than I like Najee Harris as a running back, but that's just me. But he is having a better year than he's been having, I think, previous years. Najee Harris, who I'm talking about.
Right.
I don't know if they keep him, though. I don't know what they're going to do with this offseason.
So you think the Steelers' woes continue? Next week they got the Bengals.
Oh, man, here we go. Someone was telling me don't bet on them again, but I want to bet on the Bengals again so bad. So probably
Yeah,
gonna do it. Because why not? The writers couldn't write it better.
yeah. It seems like it might be another good spot to fade the Steelers coming off this tough loss. They got a
Because another, like, think about it. They lose another game, then both him and Fields have both lost 2 games, and there's more hoopla the media could talk about. They could do comparisons lined up. It's just all they could have graphics. They could all the graphics on the world. Just makes sense.
yeah, and their schedule is not going to get any easier. I think they got the Eagles, they got the Chiefs. They got some tough games coming up. So, and don't forget, they still have to play the Ravens again. And the
Right.
Ravens, Lamar, I don't think Lamar loses to them this time. I'm pretty sure he's sick and tired of hearing he cannot beat the Steelers. So, Steelers, man, you better be careful, man. You might take a long fall down that hill from up top, man. So let's talk about breaking news. We're just gonna get straight into it today. Colorado star, two-way star Travis Hunter. He just confirmed he will be going to the NFL next season. He's a junior, so he could come back, but he's taking his talents to the NFL with Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh. Um, what do you think about this? You think Hunter's ready for the league?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Play both sides of the ball too. Why not? Let's see what happens. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. Somebody different coming into the league doing something that players haven't done in a long time. And plus, he has my number, so number 12, I got to root for this guy.
Yeah, I like Hunter. I think you think he should play both sides of the ball in the league.
Why not?
Yeah,
I
if he
saw a
does.
comment on Twitter talking about pay him twice.
Hey, for
I think
real.
this. I think you could utilize him a lot on defense, or majority of the time on defense, and then bring him in
Yeah,
on offense for gadget plays and other things, and
yeah,
then still run some. Let him play 30%, 35% of the snaps on offense.
yeah.
Why
Okay.
not?
If you're doing that, okay, I can see that
Don't
definitely.
make
Yeah,
him the wide receiver 1. He could be a 2, wide receiver 3, wide
3.
receiver 2. Really, 3 would be the best, in my
Yeah,
opinion. That's what I would do as like a coach, or if I was offensive coordinator, or I was building a team. Right? That's just me. That's what I want him, because I would like Mike Evans or like another receiver, for him to play off of, and then he could just play defense 100% of the snaps.
yeah. Like To was saying when he was trying to
Because he
make
can
the
make a
comment.
big impact defensively anyway. I
Oh
know that's
yeah,
automatic, right? Offense can get sluggish from time to time, and he's not always going to get the ball. There's other players going to get the ball. It's the pros. It's the league now, right? So I would just use him 100% of the time on defense, because he could be as effective there, and then bring him in 35% of the snaps.
yeah. I like that. I like that idea. Like as To was saying when he was trying to make a comeback at like 40 some years old, he was telling the Bucks. He said, "Think third down, think red zone. Like bring them in
Yeah,
those downs for sure. Critical downs, critical moments. You need another wide receiver, another threat.
because
Put him
there's
out
another
there."
person. They got to pay attention to him now. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, man. Travis Hunter's already making noise. Who knows? He
Yeah.
might be the number one pick because if you utilize him in that form and fashion, that's going to be hard to. That's a tool you're going to want to have on your team, honestly. So
It's a
shout out
fun
to
draft coming up, honestly, though, because there's
yeah,
different players. Gentry, him. There's some quarterbacks.
yeah,
There's some linemen coming out. There's some defensive
wow,
players. It's like a little bit of everything.
yeah.
Whereas last year was a lot of offense, like all these quarterbacks and receivers
Quarterbacks,
all
yeah,
running around. Yeah.
and the quarterbacks were good. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple generational talents, but other than that, that was it. This year, I feel like it's about 4 or 5 that can be solid quarterbacks. They won't maybe be Hall of Famers, but they'll be able to lead a team. So I
They're
definitely
gonna make
love
more
this.
money than Hall of Famers, though. Watch.
Oh, of course, making that big bag. They're already making a bag. And speaking of about to make a bag, this 5-star QB Julian Lewis also heading to Colorado to take over for Shedeur Sanders. And I've seen a couple of his highlight tapes. This kid is solid. He's coming from out of Georgia. So this kid, he originally committed to USC. He just decommitted, I believe, a week or so ago. And it was left between Georgia, of course, his home state team, and Colorado, and he chose Colorado. And I think it's a good thing, good move for him. He's going to where he can start right away. Because if he goes to Georgia, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't start. I'm sure Georgia has another 5-star QB that's been waiting behind Carson Beck to play. So Julian Lewis will see the field ASAP, no red shirt. He's going to be out there starting. He's the quarterback of the future here. And they got a couple of threats coming back on the wideouts. I'm sure once this domino, fell, all the other dominoes will fall in place. I'm sure some old linemen are on the way and some more wide receivers, some more running backs. I think this is big news for Colorado. They have their star quarterback. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, for the next 3 years, I think they're going to be great.
Yep.
They're going to keep moving up the chart. Again, he's such a great recruiter. That's the point I was making last episode is, this guy, no matter what, he could recruit anybody to the team. And that's why he's so good. Because not only can he recruit great players and take them from other teams, but he recruit great coaching staff, legendary players that want to just be on the staff with a Warren Sapp. All of a sudden, now the D-line is just great. It's going to get better. Now they're going to recruit even better D-linemen. Next year's D-line is going to be even better. I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised, honestly. I'm really not.
Yeah. Shout out to Colorado. Looking like you guys will be a contender in the coming years. So let's get straight to it, though. We're not going to hold the people up here. Best bet segment. Hope you guys are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, my first play, I'm taking Florida plus 11.5. And I know some of you guys are like, against Ole Miss? Now, does this line look familiar to you? Last week, I had Pitt plus 11.5. I think this is a lucky number for me and for us. Keep in mind, this is not one of the ones I'm going to definitely bet. I am going to sprinkle some on this, but this is a show best bet. So we're going to win this one. The reason I like Florida in this spot, first off, we're in the swamp at home. Getting double digits. Yes, I know Ole Miss defense is serious. Yes, I know Ole Miss needs to win out. But this is chaos week, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks left on the season. So DJ Lagway, he's going to come in here and have something to say about this. Not to mention that Florida's 5-5 on the season. What do they need to get a bowl game? One more win. They're going to fight like hell. I promise you. Florida will not give up, even if they're down 21 points. That's why I like all this plus 11.5. I'm going to put these 11.5 in my pocket. I'll probably cut the game on around third quarter because I'll be watching the Ohio State game at this time slot. But I guarantee you Florida will cover this number here, ladies and gentlemen. Next game, Nebraska money line. Both these teams, Nebraska's at home facing off against Wisconsin. Now, both these teams are 5-5 on the season. They both need one win. So this is a little tough game here. But I'm going with the home team. Nebraska's been disappointing the last 2 seasons. Last year, they got 5 wins, I believe, over halfway during the season, and they couldn't finish it out just to get 1 win. They did the same thing this year. They got 5 wins at halfway point, and they're still at 5 wins. I think they get over the hump this year. I think Dylan Raiola, he comes in and changes the culture. They have to get this win. This is huge for Nebraska. I think the fans will be going wild. They're coming off a tough loss against USC, but they played their hearts out. They played good out there in California. Wisconsin just fired their OC. I think they shouldn't have did it. I think this was the wrong time to do that. Changing the playbook and trying to do all that this week, it may shake things up first half, but Nebraska will make in-game changes and win this game late. I like Nebraska on the money line here. Last game, we're going NFL Sunday, and this was a look-ahead spot for me. I was telling Jack about this pick about a week or 2 ago. I like Green Bay Packers at home facing off against the 49ers. And yes, I know the 49ers are coming off of a tough loss against the Seattle Seahawks last week. But do you guys remember the playoffs last year? This is playoff revenge. Packers coming off of a walk-off field goal block to win the game against the Bears. They'll be ready for this game. I think they were looking ahead. That's why they had a slight win last week. Matt LaFleur knows he has to get this win to get his team going, head in the right direction, heading into the playoffs this season. So let's take Green Bay minus 2.5. Now, I got the money line early, ladies and gentlemen. I recommend this line 2.5. If it goes to 3, just try to take the money line and get what you can get. I prefer you guys take the money line, but for the show and against the spread purposes, we're going Green Bay minus 2.5. And what you think about these best bets, Jack?
I really like the Green Bay play just because I watched that game last week. And again, to look at it, 49ers are reeling. I just don't have the faith in Brock Purdy, man. That's just me. In terms of being able to save this team while it's faltering. Now, I know Kittle said he's going to play this week. Juwan Jennings has been stepping up. I just don't think it's enough. I think Green Bay just has the better team. That's just my opinion. But,
yeah,
I mean, what do I know?
Yeah, and Bosa, remember, he got banged up a little bit too last week. So I just think it's too much surrounding this team. It all started off with Ayuk during the year before the season, trying to get a bigger contract. This set this team back. And then, going to the Super Bowl and being in the playoffs all these years, all these long seasons, I think it's about time for them to take a break. So I like Green Bay. I like Love. I think he's the better quarterback in that matchup.
Yeah, their attitudes just might be shot.
Yeah, true, very true. All right, it's your turn, Jack. What you got for us?
All right, guys, fighter of the week. We've been on a roll with these UFC picks. I know last week we tripped up a little bit with the lady we decided to go with, but this week we're going to bounce right back. First up, we got Volkan against Carlos Ulberg. Both these fighters are good fighters. I mean, Volkan's been through the ringer. He's been around for a while. He's lost to, a bunch of good fighters. So he's a veteran for sure. And that's kind of why they matched him up against Carlos. I mean, Carlos, up and comer, even though he's a little bit older at 34, he trains with Izzy. But he's a great kickboxer, man. He's got a lot of KOs. He's got a sick highlight tape if you just look at it. And this is going to be a good fight, don't get me wrong, because both these guys have knockout power. But I think just based off the odds, especially, everyone knows Carlos is going to win because this is going to be the fight that puts him in an opportunity to get ranked, and then be somebody that can contend, which is the whole point of building this fighter up. Volkan's had his time and his chances, even though he's trying to get back, and that's no discount to him because he is a good fighter. Again, the odds minus 245, minus 240. You can get him very different spots. And if you are, with it all the way, little bonus, the KO is plus 145, which could happen just because both these fighters are going to be swinging for the fences. Parrot with Wayne Kong, she's a beast. She's one of these unstoppable Chinese ladies, man. She's 5'6", but she's quick. And the fighter she's going against really doesn't stand a chance. It was minus 800. I know at some spots it's like minus 1,000 now, but you pair these two together and then throw in Ohio State, you get a nice even plus 100, plus 101, whatever it is, minus 101. And you can double your money, which is what we want to do this week so we can set up for UFC 310 coming up in a couple weeks from now. And again, when it comes to Ohio State, it's Indiana. At the end of the day, they got to go to Ohio State and beat them. I'll believe it when I see it. So I'm going to make this a little quick 3-teamer, and we could double our money. That's what I got for you. That's Fire of the Week.
Yes. Agree with you, too. I agree with all these picks. And definitely Ohio State, if you don't know, they own Indiana. I believe they're 13 or 14-0 against them the last 14. And like you said, Indiana, I give them all the credit in the world. New coach. He came in there, changed the culture. They're undefeated. But I think their run ends here going out there to Columbus. Tough place to play. What can you say? I know Ohio State lost their center, but they'll be able to beat Indiana without their center. So take Ohio State. I like them to cover too.
Also, this is an early morning game. These fights take place across the other side of the world. So everything should be done by noon. Get it early.
Yeah. Make the bet the night before because you don't want to wake up and everything's already won. Usually that's right. What happens, Yeah, I like this parlay. We will win this week. I got a good feeling we're going to be both undefeated this week. I got a real good feeling about that. And you know what? I'm feeling good. Let's give them a bonus play. Notre Dame -14. I'm personally gonna play this. Reasons being, I took Notre Dame against Navy. Now listen, I know Army's slightly better than Navy. Yes, we know that. But they run the same system, the option. Notre Dame will be ready for this. Seems like deja vu. It's at a neutral site again. It's at Yankee Stadium. Notre Dame knows they can possibly get a bye week. Who knows what's going to happen with the teams ahead of them. So if they have a good showing here against a ranked Army, I think Notre Dame rolls them, man. I think they win by 21 plus points like they did against Navy. So take Notre Dame early and often. Just a bonus pick for you guys for tuning in. Yeah, man. You wanna give a quick recap? What's your parlay, and I'll go through mine.
Yeah, Kong, Ulberg, Ohio State is simple. Double your money. I would like to say, take Peter Yan as a bonus, but just enjoy the main event. I don't know who's going to win that fight just because both fighters are good. I mean, when you have two good fighters in the main event, yeah, I mean, Ferrero's 36, a little bit older, but he's on a win streak too. So just enjoy watching that fight.
Yeah.
I don't really have a bonus pick for anybody. But again, UFC 310, that's what I'm really waiting on. Shavkat.
Yes, that's coming up.
Man. That's a little look ahead for everybody. Be ready for Shavkat.
Shavkat, he's a beast, man. He's a beast. I'm going to go through my quick best bets real quick. Florida plus 11.5. I like all those points at home. Nebraska money line. They need this win to get a bowl game. I'm rooting for this team here. And Green Bay NFL Sunday -2.5. Prefer the money line, but for show purposes, 2.5. Those are the best bets for the week. Fighters of the week. We locked in everything. We told you guys, Browns plus the points. Over, Nick Chubb, TD, all that hit. Hopefully you guys play some bets on that. But if not, don't worry. In the meantime, in between time, we will get this cash. This is not financial advice. Yeah. Nah, I don't judge. Eat how you gonna eat, keep it legit. And please don't bother me, rather in advance. Or you hit the lottery, buy new commodities.